ACC, Conor Mac, Louisville and Clemson. What do we get from Clemson now after a humbling? That's an eye opener, losing that kind of game last week to Notre Dame. Let's see if there's a response from Dabo's crew here as they take on Louisville. Clemson 7-point home favorites, 51.5 being the total in this game. I got to give Louisville some credit for one thing. I thought that was a potential flat spot. You're playing a non-conference game. You're playing James Madison in the middle of ACC season. But unlike Arkansas against Liberty, they were not flat. Louisville was ready, and they won and covered against James Madison, much to my chagrin, as I really liked James Madison in that game. Todd Centeio did play, but it was Todd Centeio in body only, not mind, not ability, because he was, quite frankly, piss poor in that game. I don't even know if he should have played. He looked like a quarterback that was still ailing. That's how bad he played against Louisville. But nevertheless, you give Louisville credit. No look ahead, no flat spot. And now here they are against this Clemson team. I'm not laying 7 with Clemson. I'm worried now officially. That's the kind of game where, now that you lost that game, Clemson, I know it's only your first loss of the season. You shouldn't panic over it. But at the same time, it's kind of an unimpressive 8-0. Wake Forest has fallen apart. What was that? Their best win, and it's been not the toughest schedule so far for Clemson this year. Syracuse, their best win, and they barely were life and death to win that game. So there's definitely some issues right now with Clemson. Now sitting with their first loss of the year, still 6-0 in ACC play, and they're probably still going to be in the ACC championship game, so they can still play that. But obviously now you got to think. Forget about it when it comes to the playoff now after that loss against Notre Dame. So, Clemson, I don't think they've been a playoff caliber team the last year or two like they've been in years past. Maybe I think internally, though, Dabo has those kids always thinking we should be in the college football playoff. And now there's a damn good chance they're not in it. What's the response going to be from these Clemson players? Are they still locked in? Are they still practicing hard? Are they still doing the game prep? And doing all the right things to make sure you're ready to play your best? Or are they going to start going through the motions and start to get a little, deflated a little bit after that loss last week? It's a big question here. So I'm passing the game. I don't think I will be involved in it, but I'm not really rushing to get back behind Clemson after that debacle against Notre Dame. And then now who's going to play quarterback? DJU was pulled again last week. He goes to Klubnik. Klubnik comes in, throws the first pass as an interception. So Dabo's backed himself into a corner here. I don't think the coordinators he has right now are very good or as good as he's had in the past. He had Chad Morris, he had Elliott, he had Venables, and all these coordinators, they've left him for coaching jobs. And maybe I don't think they're prepped for games as good as it used to be either. And I don't think they're quite. The quarterback play's not been as good since Lawrence and Deshaun Watson and some of those other quarterbacks were there. The receiving, where's the speed at wide receiver? I mean, it's a weak receiving core if you ask me too.
No playmakers.
Tons of
really.
issues right now. I ain't laying 7. What do you think here, C-Mac?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm rushing to lay 7. I always like Clemson better at home, where they haven't lost. I talk about 6 years or something like that. But they gotta cover by margin here, a touchdown, which I don't know could be done. The biggest, craziest thing is, what is this defense going to do? That, everyone talked about this top 5 D line, all this stuff got shredded. Notre Dame Drew Pine, there was nothing special with that. It was handed off and they ripped for 260 something.
It was the 2 running backs for Notre Dame that killed them. Yep.
Yeah, just ran all over them. And that Clemson offense isn't anything crazy. So Louisville's been better. The turnover game versus Wake took care of business for JMU. Cunningham, what do? They want to run it. I think this is going to be a close game. If I were to bet it, I don't know if I'm going to get involved. But right now, I lean Louisville. Playing good football. You know what this has been, though, with me, Ian? As soon as I want to lean Louisville, they'll shit the bed here. And they're going to lose by 20.